Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Spirit Level
Hello, hello.
with Kira.
And Alma.
So glad to be back. I know it's been, oh gosh, it feels like forever since we've linked back up.
It does. It feels like forever.
Oh my gosh, but just the busyness of the holiday, it creeps up on you. All this little stuff that you don't realize it adds up to your routine, and you're like, wow, where did the time go?
Then it's just gone, and you have so much more to do.
Oh, I know. I just like the list of stuff that I need to catch up on in my head is just like, oh,
Well, it's okay. We're getting through it. The month is coming along. We'll get through it, and in time, we'll make up for all the stuff we didn't get done.
yeah, absolutely. So hopefully here after the holiday season, you guys maybe you'll be able to see a little less gap. It's Christmas season and it's so much happening, and I hope it's not too busy for you guys either. You know?
No, it's going okay. We're keeping up with paces and, getting
Yeah.
things done and taking
Yeah.
care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, what we were going to talk about today, this is kind of also an interesting foreign type of subject here, is colors. And we're talking about colors of spirit and colors of energy and like how you work with and how you see colors objectively in the spiritual worlds.
I think that's such an awesome topic to dive into because,
Yeah.
colors are all around us. So I mean, if you connect your colors to your spirituality, it can take everything that you see to a much deeper level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just it takes one meaning of something, like let's say just the body of spirit alone, and it just creates so many depths, like a rabbit hole.
Oh, I like that. Definitely a rabbit hole to go down.
Definitely. Like you have like blue, yellow, white, shadow, green, and it's like, how do you define what these mean? So, like, how would you say that you have discovered the use of color in your spiritual practice? Like, how do you perceive it and how do you use it?
For me, I would say the colors came to me mostly through spiritual writing, through divining, like through the spiritual muse, what what is supposed to be heard in the moment. And so through a lot of writing, through a lot of that just spiritual flow in the moment, the colors kept coming through my writing and they began to take on personality and have stories of their own. And so it was like it became more than just colors. It became an existential being that I could get to understand and know.
Oh, so like, how would you describe that, in each separate color? Like, let's say if you were to separate like white from blue from pink, that kind of thing. Like, how would you describe your use of that?
That's an awesome question. And like for me, it came there's four primary colors. And the four primary colors are like the pillars of being that shape the foundation of all that we see. And so the four colors are blue, tried and true blue. And then there's green, which I'm forgetting my acronyms right now, so I'm not going to try to
Yeah.
think of them.
Yeah.
um, so it's blue, green, pink, and purple. And pink used to be red, but red was angry and all kinds of
Oh.
violent and destructive. And so red moved on to become pink, which was something lighter and happier and was working
Oh.
towards being a better kind of being. So that's where they took on personhood to me.
Yeah.
And so it was like tried and true blue was all about trust and truth. And so to me, blue is like the essence of spiritual truth and everything you can trust in, while green is the parallel of truth and it's love, which is the truth, but it's the truth that you see. And so it's like the essence of earth and all that grows and everything that lives, because love is living and living is love. But
Okay.
so, and then that leaves purple, which was perfection, which was the odd one out because purple was never meant to be. And in the realm of things, nobody actually thinks that purple can be. So purple is in kind of a finding of self sort of thing, trying to figure
Mhm.
out what it means to be perfect, which is the essence of why reality is the way it is, because we're all trying to understand what perfect is in an imperfect world.
Yeah, at my job we had a kid's storybook actually speaking of purple that said the title was "The World Needs More Purple People."
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
we
don't
could
think I
use
ever
more purple.
actually. Right? It's like uniqueness, I suppose. Like maybe uh I would say I have the right words and I can't like like acceptance.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I think of perfection as. Perfection is acceptance. It's acceptance as you are, acceptance of what is and everything as it is. So it's not needing to change anything, which is the essence of what being perfect is. You are as you are and you don't need to change. So that's where purple comes to me as kind of paralleling with acceptance.
Okay. So the title of that book kind of rings with you too.
Oh, yes, and we could definitely use more purple acceptance in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome though. It's really interesting and unique way of your use is that personification. I
Mhm,
guess
right?
in a sense I almost kind of have the same, but in a different type of definition. It was less of a personification and more of a representation, I would say, because like when I'm trying to support someone from a distance, right, and words alone don't necessarily help. I work with the energy too, the intention of energy. So what I would do is I would separate what I associated each color with, and I would either designate, okay, I'm going to send this color to this person, or it would just come to my mind and be like, you know what, this person needs a little bit of green, you know?
Oh, wow, that's really awesome.
So, like, yellow would be like joy and happiness, sunshine, because, I associate a lot with like objects, like what I see, because I'm clairvoyant, so I'm very visual, and so I associate with visuals. So, like, yellow is like the yellow sunshine, right? Joy, happiness. Blue would be peace, peace, calm, because, like the blue sky, infinite peace, you know? Green would be for life. And with life, you need energy, right?
Absolutely.
In order to continue life. So if someone was saying like a little drained, I felt like they needed a little bit of energy to go forward, a little bit to go on, I would send them green.
I love that. I love that.
And then pink, uh, of course, love. So, if they really just needed a little bit of support for their heart was hurting, or they just needed a little bit of extra love in their life, send them pink.
Aw.
So it's like a whole rainbow because, I discovered the use of color when I had to do my shadow work and I had to get to learn how to live in the dark, in the pitch black. Um, I eventually started to realize that isn't black made up of all the colors?
Yes,
Isn't
yes, it
black?
is.
It's all the colors. So really and truly, you could take black and instead of seeing it as an empty void, you can actually intentionally spread it among the whole spectrum of color.
You're sending everything out at once.
Yes. And it's so funny how kind of how I visualized it. Okay, so like this is your spectrum, right? On each end you have like a dark pure black, right? A spectrum colors going inside. And then right in the middle was this nice bright white.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I like that though because it it encompasses everything. It's all there, right? And then you can see it. You can have the white light, which is the intensity of the energy, or you can have the wholeness of the energy, which is the darkness, which is the black, which is the intensity of everything all at once. And it's all the same you're saying the same thing, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
sending the same energy, the same life force, just in different vibrations, different ways of sending it out.
Yeah. It kind of makes you realize too, or remember, you know how when they tell us that our vision, like it sees in different, what is it, wavelengths?
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
wavelengths or something that create what we see. You know, green has a different wavelength from yellow, different from pink, and like depending on what color it is, it's a different wavelength or hertz or something like that.
Yep, and it reflects differently off and bounces off differently and something
Hmm.
along those lines, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's just so interesting how you can take that and you can use that to set various intentions or you know people you know colors of auras too, you know people who can see people's auras, they see it in colors too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is such a neat thing to be able to
Right.
see auras. I have a friend that's able to do that or
Really.
at least is beginning to be able to step into the realm of learning that skill and
Really.
or gift. And so, yeah, it's such a neat thing to sense the energy of people. I know I've been in powerful, spiritual, passionate positions, and I've sensed like an aura around somebody that was speaking something profound. And so I know that you can see that, that you can sense
Mhm.
that, that it's real. I don't have the gift to see it on the day-to-day basis.
Right. I can't really say that I've ever seen people's auras before either. My mom can. She has talked about being able to, and it's one of those things that you wouldn't be able to just instantly decide, oh, I want to see what color this person is.
Right.
You know, it's although I will say that whenever I'm doing like the soul readings, you know, I
Mhm.
go off a color on that though, because I can see in my head the color from there. So it's not necessarily an aura of energy, but it's like the color of their soul, you know?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
And do you find the colors of their soul resonate with the colors of energy that you like to send out when you're sending out energy to people?
Yeah, close to. It's like trying to help match. Like if someone's soul seems more like a purple, it's not necessarily that I have to send out a purple. It's just there are compatible colors, you know? There are things that are compatible with that, you know?
Okay, that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
like, knowing your color chart might be helpful
Yeah.
because which colors flow together well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then taking those definitions of how I perceive those also helps to define that. Like you remember when I said you were yellow?
Mhm. I do. Mhm.
What did you say? Someone said that your Monica was, what was it?
Oh, I'm not sure. I the specific words always escape me.
Right, but there was something that just resonated with that, you know?
Mhm.
So it's so interesting how you can utilize that to as a way to be able to read someone and then just give them what you really like, what would help them, you know?
Yes, that's what's the nice thing about it, being able to help a person in the moment with it, to sense
Mhm.
something extra that's special that other people might not perceive about somebody else, and be able to use that in the moment to give a gift to somebody.
Yeah.
That's what's special about it. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's a really interesting gift that we're able to see that, you know. I know not everyone can, but
Right.
that just really kind of comes with the gift of just being connected too. You know, there's a lot of connection in that and living in wisdom and being open to that. Like you have to be open to that possibility, you know?
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's a big thing about spirituality in general. We're talking about colors and having deeper meaning than just what you see. And that's something that takes an open mind to
Mhm.
accept and to start to believe in and understand. And
Yeah.
that's again a step down the path towards spirituality, is accepting that there might be things outside of the realm of normalcy about that you might come to accept and understand in your walk in your spiritual journey.
Right. Like who would have thought that it would become normal for us to say, "Oh, well this person's soul originates from like what's a good starseed term?
Oh,
Uh
I'm not sure.
I used to know some of them and I don't now.
Yep, that's the same for me. I had them, and I even have a Starseed tarot deck to help people that wanna find answers in that realm, but the now that I need the terms, they're escaping me.
I know, right? I know, right? But you
Well,
know,
it might just be because it's not the focus of this video.
yeah,
We're talking about colors, so we
yeah,
don't
it's
need to know
true.
starseed terms.
Now, I know that you do a little bit of drawing too. Do you
I do.
feel like doing your art has a little bit of definition to that in the expression of your art pieces?
Oh, very much so. I definitely feel like the vibrations of the colors coming through when I try to do art, like,
Ooh,
the it's just certain colors wanna be on the page together, and it kind of flows, and
yeah,
it's it's a divine process creating anything, and it really is special trying to see what colors come onto the page, because I don't always just do color. A lot of times I start with pencil and think that it's gonna stay black and white and add color later, and
yeah.
so it's always an interesting process seeing how it shapes out to see how the vibrations of the color come to register on the page.
Okay. And then when you get your final product, like let's say you're done and you have it in color and everything, do you feel like you can look at that art piece and you can just gather a specific message from the lines and the colors that were put on there? Like, do you feel like you receive something from that?
I often do. I often get a little story or a tale or some kind of understanding that comes along with the pieces that I make. And it's not always right when I make them, but after some time and I've viewed them and they've come to mean something to me, that's when they take on a new shape and understanding.
Oh, okay. And the colors really help to pull that understanding together, don't
Oh,
they?
for sure, definitely. The colors are so important because for me, they have such foundational meaning in those personhoods that I come to just represent with them. Like, it's effortless translation for me to understand the colors and their roles in the picture or
Yeah.
how they translate in my writings, and so it's just a fluent it's almost like having a fluent conversation with the divine when I create, write, or draw, anytime I flow with the muse, it always feels like I'm translating those colors into information that I can later understand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. It's kind of like I like how, the colors on our logo here. We have pink, we're love, and we're peace, and we are uh divinity, the purple for divinity.
Mhm. And then we have blue, which is truth and trust.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
so it's like almost like we're representing ourselves just within the color of our logo too.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, let us know how you interpret colors. How do you use color in your life? That's just kind of a little bit of example of how we use it. I know that it's easy to say, but at the same time, each person kind of has their own way that they utilize it in their lives and the way that they see it and the way that they receive it, because, you might feel like, oh, I really vibe with red. And,
Yep,
like red may mean passion to one person, or it may mean love to another, or it may mean anger to somebody else, you know?
exactly. It's all personal and how you develop it on your own. And we'd love to know how you're developing your personal colors.
Yeah, how do you define it? How do you use it? Share us your story and how you discovered your use of that. Um, but thank you so much for joining us though on this next episode. I know it's been kind of a little bit of a gap, but we are going to try to definitely get back with you before the Christmas season hits here. And you guys have a great night.
A good one. Thank you so much.
Yes, you have a good one. And use your colors.